Yep, what's up YouTube? It's Ryan here today. We're gonna talk about the reasons why you should not buy the iPhone SE. Most people said that iPhone SE does not really is a new phone, but not doesn't have a lot of feature as the iPhone 6s has. But we're going to talk about it. So the reasons why you should not buy it because it looks like an iPhone 5s. That is true, and it does look like it. Most people would buy it for like just in case if most people might buy it until if iPhone 7 releases with no headphone jacks, or others will just get the iPhone 6s, which is their other choice. Um, the iPhone SE is 4-inch, which is good. Smaller display. I tried it. It feels so nice. It feels so nice. And now it made much easier for my hand to touch it. Because every time if I hit another app, it will hit the app that I want to go to. It's perfect. It's perfect. But but the main reasons why is there's not a lot of features. They do support live photo, which is good, but they don't support 3D touch. That is a problem because you need to do some work fast, and most people prefer a phone that is not flat. But the iPhone SE is the best choice. If you don't want a 3D touch, then your best choice would be the iPhone SE. Um, and next, they're expensive. True, they are expensive. The retail price for the full is $400. That is much expensive than the other phones. iPhone 6s just $200. And the original iPhone 6 is just $100. So you don't need to like pay like $400. So that's a lot of money, and I recommend and 2-year contracts on these prices that I told. Um, so with and then good and next the one thing that is that on the back, because the good thing is they do have rose gold, which is good. But there's no reasons why you need to buy a phone that is like an iPhone 6s. So next, it uses A9 chip from the iPhone 6s. Yeah, they do use it. But the reasons why they use it, these chips, so that way, like, it's kind of like some similarity to this 5S, but with the best features on the iPhone SE. They do have a lot of features. It's just kind of like it's kind of like assistance for the iPhone 5S. Kind of like a system, but yeah, but good thing. Second, it has the same thing as the iPhone 6s. That is kind of true, but they don't have 3D touch, like I said. They have Touch ID, like the iPhone 6s, live photo, and live photo, 4K cameras. They're all the same specs, same A9 chip. That's all the same thing, and there's no whole point that you need to buy that phone, because that phone is actually it's like assistant. So if you want a smaller display, if you have small fingers, well, I do have small fingers, but sometimes I always use my thumb to tap apps, and they do keep hitting. But the iPhone SE is perfect, and I just really like how it feels. But I'm just gonna stay with my iPhone 6s since it has all the 3D touch. For the most part, I do things quickly. For some reason in school, I need to like check something, and I use 3D touch for the most part. Or if I want to play music, I don't need to go to the app. I can just play it, and then boom, it's ready to go. And there's no whole point of needing to have a phone like this, because it looks like an iPhone 5s. But people, if you guys use iPhone 5s, you might might want to consider upgrading to the iPhone SE. Even iPhone 6s users might get it if it's new, but you don't need it though, because it's no 3D touch with the smaller display is the worst thing ever. And the reasons why I think why they didn't add the 3D touch is because of the small display. With the small display, I don't think there's not a lot of room for it, and then like there's other problems. So that might be the reasons why, because of the display resolution, or maybe it's kind of small though. But I'm kind of fine with the phone. For the most part, I can use that phone at home using a carrier. Um, and the second thing, you don't need to have a small phone again. Well, if you're gonna stay with the iPhone 5s, then stay with it. But if you want to upgrade it, then you can get this. But there's no whole point needing to buy the same phone like that you had it, like the iPhone 5s. There's no whole there's there isn't a point that you need to buy the same phone as the iPhone 5s and then wanted to buy the iPhone SE, but you want a phone that doesn't bend. That is the problem about like the iPhone 6 and the 6s. They do bend. That's why Apple makes these. But people do like the 3D touch feature. So they might want to consider, if they don't want a 3D touch and the iPhone 5s doesn't support a lot of features, I would recommend upgrading to the iPhone SE if you don't want a 3D touch and you want a live photo, which is they support that. They aren't included, which is perfect. Nice job, Apple. Apple are kind of getting are like getting great business right now, because Apple, when they released this, now made people happy about the smaller display. The smaller display made people happy, so it's much easier to touch your hands, not even need to like use your other finger and tap in there. So that is the good thing about it, which is I'm very happy. But the whole point of getting it is that the buttons are now the same thing, because the iPhone 6, now the buttons on the side and next to the SIM card tray. Um, but would people want that? Maybe. But would I recommend it? No. I would recommend the button on top, because if it's on the side, might get confused that you forgot about you had an iPhone 6s or 6, and then you just realize the button's on the side. Yeah, with the small display. But for me, I started practicing, trying to push the button so that way I don't keep forgetting, which is fine. But I'm still staying with the iPhone 5. For the most part, when I was a big fan of Apple. I used to be a big fan of Samsung, but then Samsung came out like the batteries aren't really good at all. Oh, speaking of the batteries are actually perfect as well. It's actually the same thing as the iPhone 6s. It's just like the assistance for the iPhone 5s and the iPhone 6s. For some users who doesn't want 3D touch, they might want to buy or recommend upgrading to this phone. And you can do that. And the best carrier I recommend choosing is T-Mobile. And now T-Mobile's not getting much popular right now. And you can get and I use T-Mobile as well. I had an iPhone was using AT&T, which is my dad. But I kind of like AT&T's not getting a lot of business. They were too expensive because I want unlimited data. And then the whole point is I don't want a TV, because I already have a TV user, and there's no need in order to get unlimited data. You need to have AT&T wireless account and a DirecTV account, so that way you can get unlimited data and pay the same amount at the same time. That is not a good idea, because that would means that you do need to pay extra money. Plus, the taxes are very expensive. So I don't recommend using AT&T, even though AT&T is kind of good. But I recommend T-Mobile. And the good thing is I used 3 lines for unlimited data, for unlimited talk, text, data, everything, because my dad just switched we're all a family. So you can get, for family lines, you can get 3 lines for unlimited data, and yeah, so you can enjoy if you're hungry for data. I'm type of person who takes selfie a lot, post on Instagram, most part actually, and I'm a gamer and I play a lot of games that needs Wi-Fi, needs LTE. I like Apple because Apple have the best, strongest LTE band signal. So that way, because Samsung, there's a problem though. I can't get really a lot of service because every time whenever I use my phone, it keeps saying no service. That is the problem. With T-Mobile, it happens to all carriers. Not just T-Mobile is going to be fine with these issues. It's about the phone problem. Normally, you get no service because you're out of country, but because it's a problem about the brand. But Apple's getting great signal. Um, but the best carrier, if you're in New York, if you're New Yorker, I don't know why I call it New Yorker, because if it was called New Yorker, then it sounds weird. If you're a New Yorker, the two best carrier I recommend using is AT&T or T-Mobile, which is the best data coverage. But because the reasons why I recommend these two carriers is because if you're taking the subway underground, it's so good. You get 5 signals. That is a lot. That is like a lot. So, nice job. I recommend these two carriers. I don't recommend Sprint or Verizon. Even though Verizon has great coverage, I don't recommend that. Too expensive. Sprint, no business, not getting great business, losing money. No. No. AT&T, yes. Getting great business? Yeah, kind of in the middle, but it's fine. T-Mobile, yes. Popular? Yes. Get it now? So, pick these two carriers. Which one is your best? And you're ready to go. And you can get your new phone for AT&T Next. For 2 years, you could get a new phone on AT&T Next. And because T-Mobile has no contracts, you can get any phone, but only in 2 years or a year. So if you want to buy it in 3 years, you have to pay it, but pay a lot of money. But if you want to get your phone a year for a year or 2 years, the price is low because you already paid a lot of money for your phone, which means they will reduce the price about. It depends on how much you paid. You can simply just trade in the phone and then you can get a new one, which is awesome. Um, but you can keep it if you're gonna switch. So like I said, I was gonna switch to T-Mobile. So if I'm gonna switch to T-Mobile, um, I'm not so sure they can. I'm not so sure if T-Mobile can keep our number, because I literally just forgot when I switched. They did keep my number. I'm just not sure about the others. Whether if you're gonna switch to T-Mobile, um, if you're gonna buy a new phone, but you're gonna switch to a carrier, I'm not so sure if they're gonna keep your number. But I'm just gonna ask T-Mobile if you're gonna keep the number, which is that's what I'm gonna do because I want to keep my number, but my numbers are kept because I used to use T-Mobile, and then I switched to AT&T, see how it works, and then I'm gonna go switch back to T-Mobile, which is fine, completely fine. I did ask AT&T a question if this if we can keep the number. They said yes, and then I did ask T-Mobile and they say yes. But I'm not so sure to you guys because it might be different though because all places are different. So no matter what. And that's pretty it. These are the things that you should not buy the iPhone SE. Bye.